Hey guys, welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe and I'm joined by Nathan, and today we're back doing another pitches. Yeah. Right. How do we even start these things? I can't remember.
So for
Yeah.
those who don't know, with pitches we use a bunch of different genres, themes, media types, throw them into a random word generator. They picks it for us, and then you are allowed to make any supplementary content you want, i.e. posters, logos, whatever you decide to make. And this time we have to pitch a racing/cars situational comedy YouTube, and normally it would be video, but we expanded it because this one was a bit
Yeah.
sort of like strange. So it's YouTube video channel or series.
We've it's one of those ones where like already hearing this, I'm like, what the hell do you do for this? I feel like you have like an upper hand in this one though,
Yeah.
because you know stuff about cars. I
Yeah.
don't. Like I've written sitcoms in the past, but like is like kind of just like side projects and stuff like that. But that isn't like the thing is about writing a sitcom is you kind of got to know the subjects about it. This is the only thing that I have here is YouTube. I know nothing about cars, so my idea probably will be a little bit like, but we'll
Well,
see when we
like,
get down to it. I guess.
I also have the slight upper hand in this because I also do watch a lot of specifically like
Yeah.
car building content on YouTube. So like,
So that's even worse for me because you literally are watching the content that is kind of going out minus the sitcom bit.
yeah.
So I have to pitch this to someone who actually kind of knows what they're doing about as someone that doesn't know what they're on about. So this is kind of like a little bit intimidating for me, like, because I can imagine I'm going to pitch something, you're going to be like, yeah, that doesn't exist, or like this thing doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, like, whenever we do these, I never go in with a sense of like, oh, if it's not realistic, I'm gonna call him out on it. Because let's face it, it's the two of us, so
yeah, that's true. Oh, Lord.
I know what I'll be looking out for in your pitch, but
yeah. Oh god.
I won't
Which
say
one of
those
us wants to
now.
go first?
I don't know. I actually don't know who.
Should I just go first? Get this
Sure,
out of the
if you
way
want
because I
to.
feel like, yeah, go on. I feel like this is this is one thing with my idea. I am slightly like I think it's together, but it
Mhm.
also is a little bit like, oh god, okay, let's see how it goes.
Okay.
So my sitcom, racing car sitcom YouTube series / channel / video. I've called it Old Bangers.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. So, okay. So I've kind of like what I've come up mainly here is the story points of it, rather
Mhm.
than like usually when I've come through with this kind of things, I come up with the characters, all the what's going down. I sometimes I go really specific with what I do. Sometimes it's not so much. This feels like a not so much one. This is just a story
Okay.
out. But anyway, Old Bangers. So, a group of content creators focused on cars run a successful YouTube channel. So,
Mhm.
it's like a group of 3 people run cool car YouTube channel. They spend all their time honing their craft and building a huge subscriber base. And then one day they blindly signed a contract with a media agency in the hopes of building their channel even further.
Okay.
Unfortunately, things don't go as planned because they didn't read the contracts and pretty much find out it's a scam. So in this as well, they're locked out of their YouTube channel. Their channel has been
Oof.
repossessed. They've signed all the stuff over. Everything that they've built up until now is just gone,
Mhm.
along with all their assets as well. So not
Oof.
only they like kind of like, oh, let's like obviously their cars are part of the assets. All the
Yeah.
money, everything, it's all just gone. And they're like, fuck, as content creators, it's the worst possible thing to happen. Massive crime, but they've signed the contract,
Yeah.
and that's what's happened basically. So unlucky.
So unsympathetic.
So Yeah, yeah. Let's hope it never happens to us. We'll read any contracts that we sign if we do. um, right. So but all is not lost. They still have their fan base and they still have their own little individual social channels. And the group are able to create a Kickstarter with their loyal fans and like the fans like kind of send money over to them, like
Hmm.
little donations here and there. It may not be much, but combined their fans donations can like help them a little bit. They've like the characters in this have their like they take on side jobs, all this kind of thing. And they're able to start create content again. However, they are known for car stuff. They're
Yep.
known for like building up their fan base through this kind of thing. So what can they do? They can't exactly go around like like new like testing out newest cars or whatever. They lost all their sponsorship deals, all this kind of stuff. So with the money they have, they invest in old bangers, so old motors, and start focusing on doing them up and stuff like that. And that is the content they start producing. However,
Okay.
they like it's a little bit rough here and there. It's like, oh, like what's gonna go wrong? Obviously, they're kind of still new to this as well, so they're getting used to it. And eventually they kind of come up with like all this stuff, like all this kind of older car content. And what could go wrong? And that's where the sitcom stuff goes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I kind of like centered the idea around like five characters. Three of the main characters are the content creators.
Hmm.
So, like, just like, however, I haven't gone into specifics with this one. Fourth character is like a mechanic that is kind of just like they're like kind of bothered here and they're like, hey, you know this, don't you? And he's like, what the fuck? Why have you brought me this crappy motor? This thing's dead and all this kind of stuff. So it's like,
Okay.
it's like, oh, like they're like, oh, we got this, and it's like, yeah, this is shit. This is worthless. We can't even do anything with this. So it's like, that. And then like a fifth character is like a obsessed fan, which is like they're just on the side, like just being their number one, like,
Okay.
hey, you're doing great kind of person. So, um. I have like the idea of like because this is a YouTube channel slash series as well,
Hmm.
kind of like as casting wise, either casting actual YouTubers and influencers in this,
Hmm.
along with actual actors. I don't know if that's too cringe or not, considering I don't know if you've ever seen those kind of like influencer
Yeah,
series where they're set in a
I have.
hospital and it's like it's TikTok stars, and arguably these influencers like aren't great at acting. So part of me is like, is this series gonna be cringe? It may very well be.
They most likely would be. Most
Yeah.
likely.
Again, like I don't know whether this would actually be car people, but like car content creators that are in this. I don't know. I don't know if there's a massive
I
crossover.
mean, it'd be helpful to have someone who has an interest in cars,
Yeah,
at least.
it'd be cool to actually have that tie in it. Like it's not just a content creator that is like, hey, I'm a content creator. I have nothing to do with cars. It's like, hey,
I'm a
this
travel vlogger.
yeah.
I mostly
But
fly everywhere. Right, so you want to be in a series about cars? I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where at the end of the day, it's a money thing as well. And what brings in money on YouTube? Fucking
Yeah,
big names at the end of the day.
fair.
So yeah, it's very meta in that sense.
Uh,
Not like the Facebook kind. Um, but yeah, that is basically the idea of old bangers, basically.
okay, so obviously I knew it was going to be old cars from old bangers.
Yeah.
The only thing that I was like, maybe, I don't know, is when you said they did a Kickstarter and now they're essentially they're doing. It sounds like they're doing restos, like restorations
Yeah.
on
That's the kind of the idea of it,
old
yeah.
cars. But depending on the old car, I'm like, that's expensive.
I'm thinking
How
like
much?
kind of like literally like kind of like the oldest like obviously yeah it's parts as well. As I said, I know nothing about cars, right? And it's like kind of like even just like testing out old motors and stuff like that. Like oh it goes, but it's like this is shit. Like it's been around for ages, and it's like I guess
Fair.
maybe they rely on car knowledge. I don't know. It's one of those ones where I was like yeah you know what, if I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
Like
Like,
it's more like a like oh yeah they're running around in Fiat Pandas and stuff like that like like those kind of
Fair.
cars I'd say
fair.
rather than like any of your like your like kind of fancy Japanese motor like ones
Well, it's either
back
that
then,
or
I guess.
like when you say something like an old banger, I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know. You talking about old cars that like those brands don't exist anymore, and there's like five dudes in one
Yeah.
country that are like, this is my thing, and you're like, I hit the forums, and it's always these five guys. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, they're
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
people. That's it.
yeah.
No one else knows. It's
It's
just these guys. They got all the parts and they're like probably like in their
oh,
60s or
yeah.
70s and they're like, I've been
Yeah.
keeping these parts to keep my car alive.
Yeah, I just it's one of those ones that I tried my best with that one. I think
No, it's
I relied more on the sitcom element there rather than like I think the cars are just like kind of like they fall
I mean
into it a
it's a
little bit.
genuine concept though. Like at one point it sounded a little bit like there's a TV show I used to watch over here
Mhm.
called Wheelie Dealers. And
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't that like
so one guy
it's a
goes off and
reality
buys the
one, right?
cars
Yeah.
and then there's the mechanic and like when you said like
Oh
oh yeah
yeah.
he brings the thing they bring the thing to the guy and he's like why did you do that like that reminded
Yeah.
me of wheeler dealers a lot because it was like
Yeah.
he'd buy like a car that's like needs some work, that's how he gets his deals,
Yeah.
but then like the mechanic is always kind of like why.
Yeah, it's just that is like the kind of thing I want to go for because like even though they are like it's quite hard to sell that oh yeah they car content creators but they don't know anything about older cars is quite hard to sell but at the same time they're quite young at the, like so it could be
Well, I
like
mean it would make sense though, everyone like if you have a specific type of expertise, like, they might none of them might not have any interest in I don't know, cars as far back as like a Model T from Ford, like some of the first cars ever invented or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
it was kind of a tough one as well because obviously like knowing you're quite into cars but you're into like newer and older ones so it was like kind of just
yeah.
like, oh, should I like? I think like, funny enough, like my experience and car knowledge is actually coming from you at this point because if you were to create a car YouTube channel, I think you'd cover a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of that, like a lot of
Mm.
knowledge. I think you'd cover older ones and newer ones. That's what I think. That's how I see it from my
Uh,
perspective. If you were to have this, so it's like kind of like, yeah. That's why like there's gonna be like that's a good thing of having those free content creators because one might know more about older cars, and the other two might be like, we're
mm,
clueless on this and stuff like that. So it's like,
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I like it though. Old
yeah.
Bangers is pretty good. That actually might already be the name of a TV show though.
Do you know what there is? I researched this before because I don't know if it was with you, but I was looking into what Tiny Temper has been doing recently,
Yes, we would
and
that
he,
that was
yeah,
outside of recording. Uh
this is outside of court. And the Tiny like back in the day, me and Nathan big fans of Tiny Temper, and we were like, what is he doing these days? Turns out he had a Channel 4 pilot or TV show called Bangers, Mad About Cars.
there you
And
go.
it
That's what I was thinking of.
that's I was looking at it just now. I was like, "Wait, did I just base my title on that Tiny Temper TV show?" And it's also very British as well because anyone in America doesn't call an old car a banger either. Like no one
No.
calls like so this is a very UK kind of concept
Mm.
as well with the title. People might think, what bangers and mash? Like, oh, the sausage
Well,
show.
I'm proud of you because you did not hit the one thing I was looking for. The one theme that always
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
up. 'Twas not set in New York
No, it
or
wasn't
had
starting.
anything related to New York. So far. So far.
No, 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 that's it. There's not in there. That's the end of the idea. So yeah, I've come up with an idea that isn't New York based. I was even thinking about wait, should I tie it in? I was like, no, there's nothing there. Like it would overcomplicate it so much more. It'd be so unnecessary to put in New York completely.
I mean, like, I feel like at that point, if you included it, that would have just been for the meme.
Yeah, yeah, it would have just
And like the only way I can think of it right now is like, oh, the company the media company they signed in is in New York, and it's some mean
yeah,
like financial guy or company from New
yeah.
York has come in and stole this little British channel. Like,
He's called Frank Oni, and he owns cars. The director from that fucking mining anime that I made.
The
There's a
callback,
callback.
if you
That's
had done
yeah,
that,
the callback.
I think I would have just lost my shit.
There's gonna be two running themes. It's either Frank Oni or it's in New York. Go on then, Nathan. What? Pitch me yo shit.
Okay, so I will be pitching a YouTube channel rather
Oh
than
yeah.
any specific video or series. And
Mm-hmm.
this channel is called Egypt Racing.
Uh-huh.
So, on the surface, it's your typical car YouTube channel. There's a garage,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of people, and they're building cars. They try to build for all sorts of competitions. There's no one discipline that they follow because the main guy, he's a racing enthusiast, plays lots of racing games. So he just wants to take part in all of it, and he doesn't actually have any mechanical knowledge. So he just is like, guys, I heard of
Mm-hmm.
this thing. We're gonna do it.
Uh-huh.
So that's their main focus for their videos. But they're a scrappy little channel. None of them are actually that media literate. So there's not actually a lot of money going around. So they rely on people's actual knowledge and a lot of hacks from online. Lots of
Right.
TikTok shit and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I will now go through your hosts, your cast. You got the main guy, nickname E10. His real
Mm-hmm.
name's Ethan. He's the owner of the channel, the leader of the group. Like I said, he's a
Mm-hmm.
motorsport enthusiast and an avid gamer. He has a dream to do motorsports in real life, but he has absolutely no knowledge on how a car works. He just knows how to drive one, but he don't know how they work.
Uh-huh.
He also has no concept on how despite watching all the videos, any concept on how to modify any of these cars for any of these competitions.
Right.
But he's got the heart.
Feels like we're going into anime protag territory, but that's fine.
Next up, you got Jen. She
Mhm,
is the mechanic. She
mhm.
studied mechanical engineering and is a qualified technician at a dealership. She often tries to correct Ethan or E10 and is overruled because it's boring. It's for the content. You got to do it for the content. The only reason she's there is because she's Ethan's cousin. She doesn't want to see him kill himself. That's it. She just doesn't want him to
Jesus.
die. Well, let's face it, he is going to because he's going to do something stupid. He's watching all sorts of brain rot shit, and he's like, "Oh, that's a mechanic hack. I do that.
Yeah,
I do that."
yeah. He's just so stupid that it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
just need someone to like look. Yeah, make sure he doesn't freaking
she's the
die.
she's the brains
Yeah.
in that
Uh-huh.
operation. Then you got Isaac, the business guy. He's he's your fast talking wheelie dealer. He's the one who's going to find that car. He's going to get you a great deal. He buys the parts, but everything he does is on the cheap. It's as cheap as possible because there's not a big budget. This is whatever they can scrape together, whatever they can turn around if they bought something that might be worth something. This is whatever he can make money on, bring it back to the channel.
Right. Yeah.
And then final member of Egypt Racing, you got T. Just T.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're an apprentice fabricator. They don't know any of these people. There was just they answered the call to action. The team needed someone who knew how to make stuff, and they just wanted to get some extra experience with machinery or the tools of the trade that somehow Ethan has gathered. I don't know how the
Yeah.
boy done it, but there's your team. There is
I
Egypt
see.
Racing,
Yeah.
and that's why it's called Egypt because you got EJIT, Egypt.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense now. I see. I see. I thought it was based in Ireland. Because you know in Ireland,
Well,
if you go call someone an
yeah,
idiot, you go, "Oh, you're Egypt."
I do actually think Ethan is probably gonna be Irish because if you
Yeah.
what with Egypt and then with his
Yeah.
nickname, if you say Ethan, Ethan.
Eaton. Eaton. It just goes more. It's the Irish YouTubers.
So
It
yeah,
makes it like I can imagine it being so much more funnier as well. It's like if Irish, a bunch of Irish
yeah.
people in
So there is your team.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't got a media
Okay.
person, so I'd imagine Ethan's the one like figuring out how to cut this
I think
together.
that's the only kind of thing that I could feel like Ethan contributes here.
Yeah.
Like immediately. And when you described Ethan, I was like, and all the rest of the characters, I was like, Ethan seems like the worst one out the bunch. He's like, it seems like the most annoying one because he's just here like causing all this shit. And everyone's like, for fuck's sake, got to clean up after this guy.
Well, yeah,
But like, yeah,
he's the situation and the comedy, isn't it? It's like, hey, yo,
he's there. Like,
I heard of this thing. It's like called Dirt Lemon Racing. We should go and buy
yeah,
a fucking car, and then we should rally it.
yeah,
But it needs to
okay,
be a really shitty car, like really shitty. Like
okay, yeah.
it's like, fuck,
I
Ethan,
get,
why are we
yeah.
doing this? Why are we, bro?
That,
What is
that
wrong
is.
with you? I saw it on like
It's-
I saw it on fucking like TikTok yesterday.
Yeah, that's the kind of character you kind of want from your like YouTube comedy series or your like thing. But yeah, that is cool. That's it's a really good concept. Like, it's got like a good mix match of characters. I think that's what really drives it because you got all these like characters that are put in together, just like just everyone's so different in it, which you kind of need with it. Jeez, yeah. Okay, nah, I vibe with that. So did you like? You said it was a YouTube
Channel.
channel, yeah,
Yep.
which is dedicated to making the sitcom. So it's like,
Yep.
and so
So
this
it's
is
not so
like,
much
yeah,
that it's like a sitcom as like a TV series. It's more
okay,
that
yeah,
it's
right.
literally, and I'd imagine these people are actually real, and it's an
Oh,
actual
okay,
YouTube channel, and the sitcom is literally just because the guy who runs it is an
right.
absolute
So, so
ADHD
this is,
gremlin.
oh, frick. So this is actually like these are real people.
Yeah.
These,
This
they,
isn't acting. This is
ah,
like
this
real,
is oh,
like
these are actual. Fuck hell, that makes it so much worse. Like, not worse as in like the two. Like that
yeah,
makes it like, fuck. Ethan's an actual
yep,
person. He's
yep,
not a character. He's an actual person.
yep.
Okay, fucking hell. Okay,
He's an
how?
actual like fucking brain rotted
Okay,
idiot.
right. Okay, cool. I Jesus, that's changed my whole perception on this whole thing. I'm like,
He
oh,
would
fuck.
definitely be the type that just like over the
Yeah.
top, full energy, like, hey, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna make a car.
You sounded more Jamaican.
Oh, it's because I had to bring in the hype in it, and I'm like,
I
I
know,
don't.
yeah. I know,
I
yeah.
don't think I do watch some Irish guys like build cars, but like I don't
Yeah.
see him do that full on like fake hype shit. So I don't actually know
Yeah,
how
you
to
had to go like
reference it.
Jack. You had to go like Jacksepticeye kind of thing. Like,
Oh, I suppose it. Top of the morning to you, laddies.
yeah. There you go. That's. I like to think now that Egypt is like just Ethan is the only Irish one there now. And he's that hype, and everyone's just like, "Fuck, so okay, cool." That's it. There's like it changes so much. Okay, cool. This is it's absolutely wild. You know what it kind of feels like now? Like rather than a sitcom, it kind of feels like a reality show. But
Yeah, in a way.
but it's yeah, because it feels like a Geordie Shore kind of thing. You know, I kind of wanted to just see them like doing like pieces to camera as well. Like, I got yeah. That's nuts. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Okay.
YouTube channel, so it wouldn't even need to be pieces to camera. It probably would just be a quick like cut where he's like walking around, like, oh, let's get some B-roll or
Yeah.
something, or he's about to shove a camera in
Okay.
someone's face, and one of them's just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I don't get
Yeah.
what this. Why We don't have the budget for this. We don't this piece of shit. Like, oh, it's fucking rust everywhere. Why is he doing this?
Immediately you'd think, why the fuck are these people hanging around with this guy? That's jokes, though. That is jokes. Okay, cool. I vibe with that. That is an emotional roller coaster for me. Like everything about this has just been like, oh, why is this? No, it's not. Oh, fine. Like, everything is like, okay, cool. I like that. I like that. Oh man, mine. See, like it's like we always say, like one day we like feel like we're gonna like kind of write something quite similar, but this time it's so freaking different. Our two ideas. So,
Well, I mean, it's
uh,
like it literally is like you can tell we lent on our strengths in this prompt, and
yeah.
unfortunately, the scales were heavily weighed on my side.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is literally like okay, maybe not Egypt racing, but like racing slash cars and YouTube videos channel series of like that's
Yeah.
that's my actual everyday. I watch that kind of content every day.
Yeah.
Hell, I was watching some last
God.
night.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like the bias is there. Like he's got the fucking bias here. Like it's nuts. But fair. No, okay, look, honestly, yeah. I think, yeah, like you said, play to our strengths in this one, and I think that's like I mainly did what I could with that, and yeah, I think actually, to be fair, I don't think either of our ideas are actually like I'm speaking more on my side than yours here. I was gonna say like, oh, none of them are actually that bad, actually. I do
Oh
feel a
no,
little bit better
Ethan's
about that. Yeah.
definitely a menace. Like he's definitely the type you're
Yeah.
just like I don't want to associate with this person.
Yeah.
He will only bring me
Yeah.
stress. I
Yeah,
don't
that
want to
doesn't see
associate with him.
at the same time, that's the arguably what the YouTube and what the internet community is like right now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Content creators do be like that. Oh man. Is there anything else you want to say about this before I guess we wrap this up?
um uh I will only say I don't have supplementary content because I did not have time to make any. So,
I will also say that I do not have supplementary content because I never make any supplementary content.
bro, I've been slipping. I think this is like 2 in a row I haven't made
It's two in
anything.
a row. Yeah, you need to pick up the slack. You're the one that actually brings us.
I know normally I make stuff. It's just, busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was making a shitty car.
yeah, I was making. Right. In which case, I think we'll wrap up there, guys. Let us know which pitch you preferred. If you have your own pitches that you want to throw in there, just throw them in, I guess. Let us know. And thank you for listening to another pitches, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Culture Boys videos. Click the links in our descriptions. We have our podcast platforms there. And we will see you guys next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye bye.
Bye.